Right, the next question we got is one that's based on a form, and as we said earlier, you tend to get the same questions. Those are the questions on tables, then questions on forms, then questions on queries, and then questions on reports in any particular order, but they're going to be there. Right. Always make sure you get the right form, so it's the form change we need to work on, and in most cases we're going to have to work in design view. So they want us to insert the current time, so let's just get into that field first of all. So there's our form. As you know, a form displays one record at a time, but I don't want it in the data view, I want it in the design view. So there's my form popping up over there, and now there's a form header. Okay, there's a form header, and then there's the details part, and then there's a form footer. So there's a top and a bottom to it. This is a label control, so if you need to add your name, you would go up to the top of the page, and you would go to your controls, and you would add your label if you needed to add your name or whatever it is. They ask you to enter the current time, so I'm going to go here because I can quickly add the current date or time, so that sounds good. I don't want the date, so I'm going to unclick that, include the time. Okay, now there it is inserted there. What they normally do is they require you to drag it down to the footer. So let's just see. I think that's actually what they want to do. There as a field, I've done that, but at the and in the header of the form. Okay, so I don't have to do it this time. But if I do have to move it to the foot, I would just drag it down to wherever I need it to be. So if I needed to drag it down into the form footer, I could just drag it down, and there it would be there. So I could just drag it from the top to the bottom. Okay, so depending on where I want it to be, if I want it in that section, or wherever I want it to be in the details section, or wherever I want it to be, I can just drag it around the form as needed. But they wanted it at the top in the header, so I'm going to put it back in there again. Okay, just don't freak if you can't see it the first time. It normally puts it in the top right hand corner, so you can go ahead and look for it over there. It's going to make the field a bit smaller. Again, you would see the time in, not the design view, but in the data view. Right, add a list or combo box for the province field, which allows the user to choose the values. Okay, let's stop there. We first of all going to get the province field, and we want to add a list or a combo box for it so that the user can choose. Okay, so there's the label. So what I'm going to need to do is go up to the top here, look at my controls, and see what I've got there. And again, here's a tip. If you don't know what all the controls are, just press your cursor on it. It'll tell you what they are. There's a text box, and there's a label, and there's a button, and there's this, and there's that. So, and also there's probably more. You get to recognize some of them. There's a combo box, and they said either use a combo or a list box. It doesn't matter. There's the list box. If I wanted to use that one, let's take the list box. So I'm going to put it there, and that's easy peasy. It's just a question of drawing it in there. Okay, now you will either type in the questions, the values that you want. That's normally what they want, but in this case they wanted you to get the values from another table, if I remember correctly. They said allow the user to choose the values stored in the provinces table. Okay, so they've already set up a list of values in a table. Normally you would go here and you would type in the values that you want. But in this case, I want to get the list box. I want to get the values from another table. Yes, I do. I want to get it from the provinces. That's fine. Okay, and which field do I want? Well, there's only one field. There we go. Do I want to sort them? Well, they didn't say anything, so I'm going to skip that part. Okay, there they are over there. If you want the width of the column changed, you could do that. This is important. Store the value in this field. So many people leave this last step off because it's defaulted to that one. Store the value in this field. It's obviously we want to store it in the province field. Next. Okay, I've already got a label there. Sorry, got a label there. Finish. Okay, sorry. Province. Just going to make it province. Finish. Okay, now of course I'm not seeing anything here, but we are to go down into my data view. In my data view, as you can see, there is now a box over there, and I can choose the values from the different provinces as we go along there. Okay, so that's the question where I didn't have to type in the values. I just had to say where you could get them from. In this case, it was the table. Right, we nearly finished there. Okay, I've added the control, that's fine. Add a button control to the form, which will close the form when clicked on. Now, if you've never done this before, or it's something different, don't freak out. You can just find it. It's a button control. So let's go and see. get ourselves back into design view, and let's go and have a look at the types of controls we can go and find. I'm going to design, and here we go, and I'm not sure which is a button. I can go across here and have a look at text box, and there's a button control. They don't say where on the form, so I'm just going to put it down here. Okay, so the minimum you can do is put your button on. Okay, and they wanted to close the form, so I'm guessing I would go to form operations. Oh, there we go, close the form. Okay, so it's just like a little button that you can put on. You say next. You want to have the text close the form. They didn't want any more details here. A meaningful name will help you to trim. I'm not going to bother about that. Okay, I'm just going to call it, oops, daisy, close the, can't spell, close the form. Okay, and there you'll see it just comes up, so that when I go into actual form view and I run it and have a look at it and I scroll down, I'll have a little button there that will actually close my form. Okay, so if the user doesn't know how to close the form, there's a little button for them. Right, it wasn't too difficult. And lastly, and that was lastly, so that's it for forms. So not a hang of a lot that they're going to ask on forms. They can obviously choose various bits of formatting and things like that, and most of the stuff, quite frankly, solved by a right click. If you need to do any formatting, just go there. There's cutting and pasting and changing the color. There's even conditional formatting if you want to, and properties, things like that. So when in doubt, just scroll and go to properties and see what you can get. The rest of the stuff's up at the top, so if you need to install an image, you would go there. Date and time we've covered already, and that's pretty much what you're going to get in forms.